Jake Paul shares a tweet about new footage of KSI working the bag. Joe Weller responds to KSI calling him a P. KSI says Alex Wasabi will never get another chance at him on the big stage. Rumors say Jake Paul vs Andrew Tate is being targeted for October. Alex Wasabi shares sparring footage. KSI on the comments he's getting for fighting Swarmz.
Jake Paul with the W. I mean, we don't get to see him fight, but still, W. You suck. Who the fuck is Swarmz? I don't even know who this fucking guy is. Honestly, I'm more excited for Fruity versus Tate. What's going on with giving us? Wow, you're just gonna dunk Jake Paul like that? Major L. Quack, 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 quack. I used to be a big fan of KSI, but since this L, he sucks. You've lost all your fans now, bro. Wow, that KSI L has now made me a fan of Alex Wasabi.
KSI calls out Alex for only starting promotion now. KSI trolls Alex saying he will fight him for a 30-second YouTube short. KSI disregards fighting Joe, calls him a P.
That guy's a pussy, bro. No. That guy is terrified of getting in the ring with me. No. Legit, if we went up to him, he would start crying and just run off. Joe Weller.
RiceGum is planning a comeback to YouTube. Speed has been arrested for prank calling the police.
Bro, is that public?
Yeah, I got it. You good, bro.
Bro, I didn't go, bro, on my time, bro. I swear I didn't do nothing, bro.
Okay.
IShowSpeed gets sweated on live. KSI talks about fighting Swarmz.
Including me. Yeah, it's on Swarmz to big himself up and to make him look like he's a worthy opponent. For me, knowing Swarmz, I feel like he would destroy Alex. But anyway, look, I've seen enough. If I wasn't depressed before, I'm fucking depressed now. I've been filming for about an hour of just pure depression. I'm fine, Swarmz in it. The show must go on. We still have a lot of other big fights. This is just a warm-up fight for me to get my feet wet. And then best believe, after this fight, the levels of my opponent will rise drastically. And then eventually, I will get my hands on Jake Paul and beat the living shit out of him once and for all. And end this motherfucker for good.
KSI on why he didn't fight Austin Temper or
My man
Woodley.
thinks he's fucking Floyd Mayweather. He's gonna ask for millions. He thinks he's worth millions. He's not worth anything. Plus, he's waiting on Gib to sort out his medical. So I'm not just gonna wait for Austin to wait for Gib for his medical, because then we wouldn't even have an opponent. And people would be like, what am I coming to see here? Who's KSI fighting? Am I gonna just see KSI shadowboxing for the main event? They already have a new opponent for Face Temper. Everything's been sorted and signed, so that's not possible. Tyron Woodley, I'm not fighting Tyron Woodley because he's been done already. Jake Paul has already had his way with him. Tyron Woodley isn't some stripper that everyone's just passing around. Plus, it's Jake Paul recommending me to fight Tyron Woodley. And I am not going to touch anything to do with Jake Paul because, as we can see, he's very unreliable.
KSI says Jake didn't want to fight him, he wanted to ruin his event.
Jake Paul, no, he's full of shit, he's unreliable, and this is just how he manipulates audiences to make him think that he's that guy when he really just isn't. He does well in the chaos. He enjoys the chaos. Plus, I'm not gonna just rush this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the biggest YouTube boxing fight of all time, and you think I'm just gonna rush it in 3 weeks? How do we even do that? He said he's accepted all my terms, but that's just him saying that online. It's all bullshit. Jake Paul's ultimate goal is to kill my event. He doesn't want my event to go ahead because it would be the only YouTube boxing event to go ahead so far this year, besides the Idols, obviously. The idea that I might get more pay-per-view buys than any of Jake Paul's previous fights from me fighting a complete nobody terrifies him, because that gives me the ultimate power, especially when we're talking to people. Jake Paul, no, like DAZN and Showtime and all these big boxing companies. So him saying all this shit is just a delaying tactic. Even if we send him the contract, he'll just not sign it. You just delay and delay until fight night, and guess what? I'm shadowboxing for the main event. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't fought in 3 years, bro. I haven't fought in 3 years. The This was meant to be a warm-up fight. No one's meant to care who I fight because I'm going to beat them anyway. Even if they try their hardest, they're not going to beat me. But like I said before, whether it's Alex or whether it's Swarmz, I'm fighting to get rid of the cobwebs so I can be active again in the boxing scene. After Swarmz, do you think I'm just going to be fighting more nobodies? Of course not. I'm going to be upping the levels, okay? God, there's a long-term goal in all of this. And it's not just being Jake Paul, but it's also creating YouTube boxing events that everyone is excited for. I'm trying to make something bigger than just one-off YouTube boxing events, like The Zone. And
Jake Paul starts new company, Betr, backed by Travis Scott and more. KSI shows new footage working on the bag.
Again, go, shot. Again, go. One more. Step back, put the hand right, go, jump body, go up. Again, go, shot. Again, go, shot. Right hand, left body, shot. Do it again, go, shot. Stop that body, go up. Do it again, go up. Double it, good, keep going. 3 left. Okay, 3 in a row.
Corp's husband turns 25 years old today.
Very, very much. For all the birthday wishes.
PA confirms that KSI vs Swarmz will be a pro fight. Anesongib vs Austin McBroom is back on. KSI will fight Jake Paul next year at Wembley. Austin McBroom reacting to Gib passing his medical test.
But yes! Gib ain't running no more!
Adin Ross asked Andrew Tate if he could fight the Paul brothers.
We all could you and Tristan fight the Paul brothers?
No, everyone's
Can you and Tristan please fight the Paul brothers?
Are they not your friends? Thought all you famous kids are famous.
I love Jake Paul. I love Jake Paul. I love him.
How many times have you met him?
A few times in person, but I've talked to him on the phone, and I love Jake Paul. A lot of people don't like him.
Why do you want?
But I love him.
Then why do you want him to get fought? Why do you want him to fight? What if he loses?
Well, I love both of you, so it's kind of like, wow, I'm watching my two like friends. You know what I mean? Like fight to the death.
Who would you bet on?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's such a tricky question. See, you've kickboxed, but you've never been in a real UFC match, have you? And you know I'm not
I
down.
fought MMA, yeah.
You have fought MMA, okay. What's your record?
I've only had 3 MMA fights, 3 wins, but I only fought 3 MMA fights.
Can we all